Hello, Central Florida, and all the ships at sea. Welcome to another edition of Magic Through Wrestling. I am your moderator, Bill.
Bill, what are you doing? Again? 2 weeks in a row?
You said I could open the show.
I thought we learned a lesson from last week.
Yeah, but the guy liked it.
I thought that almost put us off the air.
No, just one guy liked it.
Oh, just one guy liked it.
Sometimes you gotta appease more than just the masses.
Yeah, just the one mass.
Yeah, he's a big guy.
He's a big mass.
Listen, let's be honest. The guy's not here again this week. I can do what I want.
Yeah, so for those listening at home, our lovely friend Jimmy, his magic trick worked so well. We joked about that last week, remember? That the magic trick was going to work so well that we didn't know if he'd be
He's
back.
the guy who puts himself in the box, spins the box around, right? You open it up, he's not there. And then when you spin it around, he's there. He's still spinning.
Yeah, he didn't come back.
He doesn't know which way the box is. Now you see, he's in Now You See Me 3.
Yeah, that's it. Jimmy's in Now You See Me 3.
Where the guy comes back as the Hulk, as the cop now.
But you know what? Tonight we have a better host with us, a guest host, a lot cooler than Jimmy.
Oh boy, he's gonna be mad.
But
Bill, this is your daughter, Casey
I know
DeMott.
who it is. The build-up is not necessary, though, because this is...
Yeah, but what about the people at home?
The people don't need to know. It's just... She doesn't need the build-up. It gives her a big head. Go ahead, Sarah.
You voluntold me to come here.
It doesn't matter how you got here. It matters that you're here. You just don't build it up, because if you suck at this, then the build-up is no good.
Okay. Well.
So if you stay status quo, at the end they go, wow, that kid was amazing.
You just don't want it to come back on you because you're the one who had this big old idea to have me come on.
Welcome to this edition.
I know, we're not going back to that, Bill.
We're not going back there.
We can't go back
I gotta
to
find
that.
a happy place. I feel like I'm there. Yes, Casey's here, the moral compass.
You could go cuddle up with sick Jimmy over there.
Hey, I put a blanket over his head and I took it like the tablecloth thing where you clear the table, and we got rid of Jimmy and pulled in a Casey.
That's awesome.
Yeah, but
They have
you and I
this
need to
trap
make
door.
a deal that right now. We don't do that to each other.
Yeah, no.
So no matter if we have Jimmy or not going forward, you and I are still here.
Yeah, we're good.
Okay,
we're definitely going to be here at the
Okay, witness, good. Catch, witness, thank you.
Casey, how are you doing tonight?
I'm good. Thank you for having me.
Thank you for coming. It was actually your father, Bill's idea, because Jimmy decided at the last second that he was too sick to come. He's got the carnival flu or whatever.
He got the Quernavodka. He got the...
You guys are going to cause mass panic.
First of all, he got the Quernavodka flu.
He just has the man flu.
No, go on the Today Show and they'll talk about it tomorrow. And there'll be a picture of beardless Jimmy with the thermometer and his mom sitting by his bedside stroking his sweaty forehead.
For everybody who wants to know.
First he had asthma, now he's got Quernavodka.
Yeah, he's got the corny. But he's not here. Unfortunately, he does have the. He was on that ship in Italy that they stranded 6,000 people.
Yeah, the Mayflower.
He's not that old, but
he's got asthma. He got allergies. He was on the Mayflower.
And then he got.
That was the Pilgrim. That wasn't even it.
Then he got the carnival flu. So
who's the Italian?
Didn't you hear about that? Last
Columbus.
week. No, there was a cruise line last week
from China.
6,000 people, and it was in Italy.
He's been saying Italy. Why are you saying China?
The cruise ship was in Italy, and
two people. China.
Yeah, I think there were 2 people from China on the ship, and then they got it, and then 6,000 people were stuck. I think they're still out there in the water.
So that goes to show you, because back in my day, you'd never see 2 Chinamen in Italy.
They weren't. They were just on the same cruise ship.
That has everything to do with it.
No.
You never hear anybody sick in Italy.
It was just it was the cruise ship going to Italy.
Yeah, but now where do you think they get 15 million screaming Chinamen from?
I don't know.
They're all sick. Now they're going to Italy. Now Frank's sick. Now we can't go to Italy.
And you know what? I'm getting it too, because I'm from Italy. Well, I'm not from Italy, but I'm Italian. Ladies and gentlemen, this shows we're all a goner. Your new host, your only host,
Casey DeMott.
is going to be Casey DeMott going forward.
That's too much pressure. No?
For your friends, Frank's spinning in a box.
He's already a goner.
Lori's
so
Italian. He's going on a boat with 2 Chinamen.
Audio
I
Vaughn
got
disappeared.
Audio Vaughn's in Thailand with my passport.
Yeah, how do you guys feel about me running the audio tonight? If it sucks, then it's Audio Vaughn's fault. But if it's really good, then it's my first
See, I
time
think
doing
that's
audio.
where I think you give up too much information. We could have left Audio Vaughn on the side, and then when they went up, and we go Vaughn, and they don't know if he's here or not.
That's true. Okay, I dropped the ball there.
But now we know Casey's here, Jimmy's not, neither is Vaughn. So now we're screwed.
Yeah, the show's going downhill pretty quick.
Let's start this over. Hey, everyone.
Can you do it the Jimmy way? I miss him so much.
I can't. I have a sore throat.
It takes a lot of energy.
Welcome to the Magic Wrestling. You can buy my salad in card. I'll show you card trick for $29.95.
Did you say you could buy my salad, eat a garden, and I'll show you a card trick?
Or
Something like that, yeah.
eat salad from the garden, $29.95.
Eat a salad from the garden.
Eat salad from the garden.
It's organic.
Well,
Which ties in because rabbits eat salad. Rabbits are in magic tricks. Magic through wrestling. You wrestle the rabbit to get the salad.
and rabbits originated in China with the carnival flu.
Yeah.
Wow. That was, wow.
Is this?
We took the
is this
long way here, but we're here.
That was
Yeah.
quite the,
You know,
quite the
Kirk Douglas.
Yeah, breaking news
Passed
tonight.
away.
Passed
You know-
away.
Your wife, off the air, has the colossal gall to say to me, I said, wow, Kirk Douglas died. She goes, how'd he die? I said, he's 103. She goes, how'd he die?
See,
He's
it's
103. Who cares how he died?
and she works in the medical world.
Which is why I want to know.
He's 103.
I know there's
Who
multiple
cares?
ways to die.
That's the only, yeah. That is the
Herpes.
cause
Who
of death.
cares how he died? Get blessed aside.
Cause
He
of
had the
death.
syphilis.
103.
He got the syphilis. He had the Quernavodka flu.
He got it from Jimmy.
He took Jimmy Rookie, went to the one of 4 matches, one of 21.95. Kurt Douglas took the show, ate the salad, boom. Jimmy's gone, Kirk's dead.
Wow. Frank, you getting a call on live air?
Frank?
Or Bill, you getting a call on live?
Hey, who puts their phone on?
You.
So Casey,
Yes.
have you actually listened to our show?
Probably no rule.
It's been a few episodes since I've listened to it, so I would listen to it in the beginning when you guys first started making episodes. So I'm a little far behind.
Okay, well that's okay. We're gonna give you a chance to catch up.
Okay.
Don't be biased. Choose the most entertaining one.
I'm not gonna answer that.
You're welcome. You really not gonna answer that?
No, I didn't know.
How'd you feel about your dad doing a podcast with us?
I have to say I'm surprised you let him back for more than one episode.
Lacey loves it because she says it gets me out of the house.
Yeah.
That's true.
She goes, go do the podcast. But we're not filming it. Go do another one.
Go find one.
Go to someone else's house and go do a podcast.
Go to a park and listen to one.
All of a sudden, where's Bill? He's knocking on doors.
I think you feel better after you do it though. 'Cause you get to,
It does let me get a lot of things that are in my head out of my
yeah.
head.
So I think that's good. But you tend to take it in a very weird, different direction sometimes.
I think she's talking about the Italian Rabbit with Jimmy and then Kirk Douglas and.
Yeah, that's a tough one to follow
Well,
But it's very logical.
in my defense,
for him.
when I feel like when you bring a subject up, you should be saying what's on your mind right then and then, because otherwise there's dead air, and everybody's thinking, "Well, let me think on that." No, this is not. We're in a society where people need information, and I'm the guy to bring it to them.
But it's not the right information.
Who cares? Who cares if it's the right information? That is the worst answer I've ever heard in my life.
But this is how stuff starts. Like, people are going to think the Quernavodka flu is a thing.
It is a thing. There's people dying.
It's not what it's
On
called.
Italian cruise lines.
Run by Chinamen. Born on the islands. All I know is I'm not getting on a plane. We talked about it before. I drive everywhere. I ain't getting on a plane where everybody's wearing masks.
Well, if you did, you should get a mask.
No, not a chance. Oh yeah, I'm getting on a plane with a mask on.
At this point, I'm going to the grocery store with the mask on.
Jeez, Christmas. This is ridiculous. What a bunch of babies. I gotta cough. Put a white suit on and take my temperature.
Listen, you weren't feeling well earlier, and you've been a little.
But here I am.
Okay.
The show must go on. Unlike Jimmy Rook. Chicken soup. I taught 14 classes last week.
I hope he doesn't listen to this show because we
You
don't.
better listen. I brought him a new tuxedo, and I forgot the tuxedo. I got a new tuxedo for him.
Oh, that's nice. What'd you get him a tux for?
Just because.
Because
You know,
magicians wear tuxes.
magicians, you gotta look the part. You get the nice red and the cummerbund and the thing around the neck and the thing in the pocket.
Well, now that he shaved his beard
Did he
off,
shave
look
it?
good.
I just saw him the other day. I didn't see it.
It's gone.
Is it gone?
It vanished. It's a magic trick.
We did DUI saturation patrol last week. I saw him with a beard. And I think they said.
Wait, did you go out on a run?
No, we didn't go on the run. We the foundation. We work very close with UCFPD and a lot of law, throughout the state. But when we host the saturation patrols, which simply means we go and feed them and make sure they have stuff to drink and eat.
Oh, I saw that, man,
Yeah,
on Facebook.
yeah.
That was so cool that you guys went out. And I saw, some of the police officers were praying. It looked like they were speaking and
Buddy,
stuff.
it's amazing. You sit and put 70 men and women in a room, and they know why they're going out there. And while it's frustrating, and I know I skip around a lot, but then you'll hear this on Friday, but today, which is Wednesday, the trooper who just got shot.
Yeah,
And
I saw your post today.
yeah,
What happened?
All these things he was on. The car was
Rest areas?
on the shoulder, and so the car was in need of something. It was just in need of service, and the trooper pulled up. Well, as soon as he pulled up, a guy came out of nowhere and just opened fire on him.
Wow.
And then within 2 seconds, I forget the agency that came up, pulled up on that, and they fired on the suspect who fired on the trooper. But we work closely with law enforcement. We work very closely with FHP.
Yeah, the Keri and DeMott Foundation is
And,
huge with that.
So we want to make sure they're fed and they have stuff and whatever we can do for them to show our support.
Absolutely.
Because we tell them, they're inside the cars doing their work. We want to be outside their cars doing work with them. So
That's awesome.
we did that, but that was a terrible, all serious note, terrible thing for the FHP family and for that family who lost their father and their dad, and
That's terrible.
crazy world we live in. So that's why we do the podcast. Just lighten the mood a little bit, and
Give
try
some
not to
levity
be
to the world.
try not to be too serious at times, but for a minute, you take a minute and thank God for those people who do that
Yeah,
stuff. And,
absolutely. And for the Keri and DeMott Foundation,
Yeah,
what you guys do with that.
we'll support that all the time. And you guys, we just came off the dinner and we're on a high. We're building up to the year and things like that. So
Yeah, because you guys got the next big event coming up.
the 5K's coming up
When
in
is that?
May.
So-
May 2nd.
That's something we could start plugging
Yeah,
into.
we do that in May. We do national night outs throughout the year with law enforcement.
Yeah, that's in October.
Toys for Tots, and then we do World Day of Remembrance. Is always November, the third week in November. So the plate's full. I'm following. So the foundation does all this work, but the DeMott family works with legislature.
Yeah.
So I've been working with senators and representatives, and right now the bill it's passed 4 committees now.
Wow.
I still think the bill could be changed and altered a little bit, but pick your hill and what you're going to fight on and see what the information is. But that's the things that keep us busy. So then on Wednesday nights we get to come here and poke fun at Jimmy, and I bring him a tux.
And then he just doesn't.
And then he doesn't show up
because he performed the world's worst magic trick. He disappeared and couldn't figure out a way back.
Is there been anybody like Houdini at least did it in front of people and ta-da, I'm not coming back.
And then he got punched in the stomach and died.
Yeah.
So
Like a girl. He does all these magic tricks. Somebody punches him in the stomach, he dies. Hit him in the epidermis, he crumbled. Too much?
Casey, how do you?
Yes,
I love Bill, but how do you live with Bill? Because I feel like it's got to be interesting.
That's a loaded question. I feel like I don't know.
But the truth is, people go, "Oh,
I work during the day.
he's
so
so funny in front of people." These are the actual conversations that happen in my house.
No, it's very true. Yeah,
That's awesome.
Everybody thinks this is like an act, and it's really
They
not.
go,
This is how it
you
is
know.
24/7.
I love that, and I kind of figured that too, because like even when we're not on the air, the stuff that Bill says, I wish I could just capture every waking second because I'd be famous with Billisms.
He needs somebody like with a recorder or just like taking notes, like of all the things that he says. And
No, because I'd be arguing with that person. I play it back, but it'd actually be me. I mean, it didn't sound like that. It went like this, so I'd be arguing with
It would be even funnier if this day and age of technology, you had somebody actually walking around with you like with a pencil and a paper, and they're just like documenting everything you say.
Well,
how many times has somebody, Nana's always told you that you just need to record yourself and just walk around with
just have the recorder on. I'm like, but then what do? I don't want to listen.
Sell it. It's
I
like
would listen.
make it like an audiobook of
Called
Billisms.
Shit My Dad Says? Like,
Shit, my dad says. You should write the book.
Yeah, you could write the book.
You got 26 years of that.
That's true. I've got a lot of material.
I got good stuff. Hey, I said Quernavodka flu. The three of you are going, no such place. What an idiot. Look at the names he's making up. Yap. You Googled it. Son of a bitch. Quernavodka.
Or was it like outside of Guam or something?
Right next to Thailand. It's
Oh.
in
No,
Mexico.
it's in Mexico.
Where's Guam? Near Japan.
In Thailand with your passport.
I've been to Guam. I know that.
And you've been to Thailand.
I've never been to Thailand.
So that's the funny story. If somebody hasn't listened to previous episodes, Bill has Thailand on his passport, but he doesn't remember ever being there.
This is I was there for 2 or 3 days or something.
What were you doing?
Well,
Actually, I don't need to know that.
there could be.
Nope. No, I don't need to know
Let it
that.
go?
Nope. Moving on.
Moving on. Okay. Told you. She won't let me say stuff.
All right, so I got a question for you, Casey.
Okay.
What is it like being the daughter of a famous pro wrestler?
I mean, it's pretty. I don't know.
Like, he's a crazy character without
Her
tights.
first answer should have been, I don't know. I'm his daughter.
Wow.
That's what her first answer should have been.
That would've been good.
She hasn't been paying attention to me for 26 years. I was like crazy.
You gotta keep up with the Billisms.
I know. I tried.
No, but has that been like an interesting life?
I mean, yeah, definitely. I think growing up, when Dad was on WCW and he was on TV every week, it was definitely kind of cool. You go to school and everybody knows who your dad is, so that was always kind of fun. And most kids would bring their pets or something they found at the beach for show and tell, and my show and tell was my dad. So
That's
That was-
awesome.
I would literally bring my dad, and everything would stop for the day, and so that was kind of cool.
We would pull up, I would take them to dance class on my motorcycle.
Oh, wow.
So here I am all jacked up and half a shirt on and tattoos, and there's my daughters.
The goatee?
Yeah. And the hair.
Long
And
hair, yeah.
there's my daughters in their pink tutus getting off my bike going to the dance class. And all the mom's like, oh. It's the DeMott crew.
That's awesome.
Yeah, now watch my daughter dance around your kid.
Bill, how was it, by night, basically, and you're on the road traveling, but you're, this famous pro star on TV, and then you're walking the halls of, like, an elementary school. And
So funny because those kids don't know anything. And, they go home and tell their parents, and the parents just tell their kids what to say next time they saw me.
that's awesome.
So, but it was always cool to go.
It's that way now too.
It's
I feel
still that way,
you
yeah.
know, it's funny to see it now.
But it was cool to go and have lunch with them, and all Casey's friends would be like, "Can we have lunch with you today?" And Casey would have to make a list of four of her girlfriends that could come and sit with me and her in a private spot, and we'd go have lunch. And then
that's cool.
Keri was the same way. We did that all the time. So whenever I was home during the day, that was the thing of just getting on the bike and showing up and stuff. And then it's so funny to sit there and read the kids and what is it? So you take away all the mystery when you're human,
Yeah.
So everybody got to see us, as
Was that
normal.
tough? Like, because I mean, in WCW, I know it wasn't as big as like the 70s, but I mean, you're still trying to keep somewhat of like kayfabe going.
Yeah.
Was that like? Did you ever have to walk a fine line, or were you like, "No, it's my kids, I don't"?
Never with my kids with me.
Okay.
With Lacey with me and stuff, or by myself, always like humorous-ish. I would never treat. I don't think I never broke kayfabe, but I never treated anybody like crap either. You know what I mean?
Even like in your heel days.
No,
and stuff?
never treated anybody like crap. Like I wasn't gonna go sign your thing, but I did give you the wink and let you know hey man, just run with the program. You'd appreciate it, you know.
That's cool.
But yeah, I was always a big fan of because I wanted my kids to appreciate. And I told them at an early age, like all these people who may be scary right now and following you all over the place and doing all these things. These people put food on our table, so we, you know, just be grateful for that.
Did you go, Casey? Did you go to like a lot of backstage and were you at a lot of shows and stuff growing up?
Sometimes, yeah. Like if they were in the like if they come to the Amway and stuff and do like that, we would go, and that was always a lot of fun to get to like kind of be backstage. And I think there was a couple of times we were even like get to be, I don't know if it was on TV like live or they were just recording it. And, just like a few seconds here and there. It was always really cool to get to do that because we didn't get to do it very often. So every once in a while they get to kind of.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it was a crazy schedule, yeah. So it was if it was close. Live, there were a lot more live events than TV events. I think.
Yeah, I don't think I ever went to like a live event. I think until
WWE,
yeah.
WWF.
Yeah.
Was it cool getting to see some of the wrestlers like on TV and stuff like?
Yeah, it was a lot of fun. It's really cool, and then when you get to go backstage and kind of meet them in person, it's like you said, it can be completely different. They're nothing like they are on TV.
Yeah.
Which, sometimes they are. They mess with you, and it's fun, and so I have a lot of like good memories and a lot of autographs and stuff from my childhood of getting to do that stuff.
Well, Billy Gunn's boys and Casey and Keri, the same age, and they'd all be in the ring together, wrestling, taking bumps and rolling around as kids.
Oh, wow.
And there's pictures of it and stuff. And
that is cool.
The Guerrero kids and all the kids that were growing up together, they do those things. But yeah, it was that was my biggest fear, was always making sure that nothing rubbed off the wrong way on the kids or anything.
That's and it's cool too because
It's not the case because I'm a knucklehead. They've seen it all.
But you know what? Like one thing I'll say is you are a knucklehead. I'll say that.
Yeah.
Like tell your, like you're an awesome dad and you're a good role model.
No,
outside of the Kevorkian flu.
I think to be if we're gonna be honest, I've worked my way around the long way around the block as far as a role model. As far as a father, I think I've been fair to middling in a good way. I think I've tried to be the best dad.
Yeah.
But as a role model, I think I took the long way around to that. But I'm sure that's for a different podcast, like episode number 4,000. But
we also grew up in the mean streets of Jersey. So
well, it's just the path you take, and people, I think, normally are a little selfish with their stuff, and at that time it's what about me? This is what I do and what I do and what I do, and you tend to, the hardest part I think for and I always tell the kids now is there's a separation, but there's no separation. I lived a long time as Hugh Morris and Bill DeMott, and it was two different people. It was two different lifestyles. It was two different dynamics. It was two different come to real, full circle and life, lessons and everything. No, it's not. It's the same thing. You have to learn how to deal with that. So it's been, it's strange, but now it's different. I think now, especially wrestling wise, it's different, and I think entertainment wise, it's different for people because it's okay to be human. It's okay to screw up, and and you have no choice because you got TMZ and everything out there that's going to catch you anyway.
Yeah, I was going to say, social media, like that wasn't around when.
Yeah, thank goodness, and a lot of parts would say thank goodness. But the other part, the pressure of it now, and you got to live up to all these things. And the problem with putting yourself out there is once you put yourself out there, you open yourself up for scrutiny and all that stuff. And you can be the greatest person in the world, but you're going to piss in somebody's Cheerios and then they're going to find fault with it, and then the conversation is going to be and this is where it's so funny because Casey and I will catch ourselves sometimes sitting at home talking about this stuff and why it's like that, because we've kind of lived that on different levels, depending on what we're watching. And you go, but people, I think everybody should have the opportunity to live that life and then see what it is, and then maybe it would be a little less
Yeah, we were watching
Challenging.
the Taylor Swift thing on Netflix. Have you watched that, Casey?
I haven't, no.
I don't really know what it is.
Tell them why.
Oh, you don't like Taylor Swift?
I'm not the biggest Taylor Swift fan.
Wow,
I'm like the opposite
But-
of Taylor Swift.
You like Taylor
No,
Swift?
the opposite. My wife likes her. I don't like her.
Taylor Swift?
But we were watching a thing, and she was saying, kind of how hard it is to be. But, I always think, too, like, everybody can be forgotten if you just pull back for long enough.
Yeah.
So you don't have to always play, like, a pity party about it, I mean, but then there's the other thing, too, like, you live, your house is gated. I mean, people still recognize you. So I'm sure you have to think about, well, if I go out today, how many people are going to bother me while I'm just trying to buy a pair of socks? So I guess there's some validity to not being able to always pull back.
Yeah. I mean, for people that go, let's say this podcast. I mean, literally, between you and Jimmy and I, we put ourselves out there every week now.
Oh, yeah.
Because we know we're sitting here entertaining each other
Absolutely.
and whoever's in the mansion. And we know we're not going after anybody, but somebody out there. And here's where the moral compass comes in, and she keeps me in check. But it's hard to keep in check because someone's going to pick something. And let's just stop it. Kurt Douglas 103. If there was social media and smartphones around when that guy was coming into the business, he would never have made it.
Right. Yeah.
Your grandfather would have never become who he was. My grandfather, all these things, and people don't get,
I struggle. Like, Casey, you and I, we're close to the same age. I'm only 4 years older than you, so we're kind of in the same world. And, like, how I grew up, I grew up in a small farm town. Social media didn't become a big thing till, like, 2009, really.
Yeah.
And so that was after I was out of high school. Mm-hmm. So growing up through high school wasn't really a thing. And, man, the world is so sissified. Like, if I don't get offended by much, you could you could say whatever. Like, words don't really hurt me, but I don't get the outrage culture that we live in, and everybody wants to kill everybody's career and their life and ruin them.
He said this, now I'm going to go get him.
And it's like, look, people will give you enough reasons to dislike them. Don't go after the low-hanging fruit of something they might have said and being funny, or something they might have said. Like, I'm surprised we haven't gotten more flack for the stuff we say on the show, but at the same time, if somebody, like, we have not a couple, but there have been trolls that say stuff. I'm like, dude, come to Florida, say it to my face. I don't really.
The easiest thing for me is like, hey, here's the beautiful part is don't listen to it.
Yeah, and that's the thing.
You know what you're going to get with us every week.
Yeah.
And sometimes we'll get serious about some topics, but you know what you're going to get. And that's my thing with everything that's on TV. Like, the Kardashians are so big, but yet all you hear is people bashing them. The people that bash them say people watching them. They wouldn't be big.
Brock Lesnar situation.
Across the board. And if it's that important to you, but now you watch out because you're the ones important to. Let's go into your closet. Let's go back into your social. And this is what I tell everybody I speak to. You're doing all this stuff, but what happens when we look back in your social media?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, who's perfect?
Look back in your tweets and your Facebook and your Snapchats and the pictures and the retweets. And that's what society's become. So it's costing careers and jobs and livelihoods and reputations, So it's crazy. And sometimes you just got to, take a deep breath, get the Quernavodka and flu, disappear for a couple of weeks, revamp it.
Well, I think it's just because if you're behind, your phone or your computer, people, that makes you brave all of a sudden. You can just say whatever you want.
God,
and you don't even have to put your real name on it. That's
right.
what.
But you don't even get the chance to defend yourself, because the minute you defend yourself, you're admitting guilt or you're admitting that it's right.
Yeah.
But back in the day, hey, you're fat and your mother dressed you funny. Okay, meet me on the basketball court at 2:00.
Right. Well, that's the thing. You say it on social media. You say it from behind your phone. You're not brave enough to actually say
where
it.
I come from is like, okay, you want to jaw at me? Then if you don't stand up to that, you're a punk. And if you don't stand up to it, then I have no reason to keep listening to you.
But the deal was that I tell the kids when we go and speak, because I speak around the country and I speak to elementary schools and middle schools.
Yeah, tell a little bit about what you do there, because I think that's really important.
So we talk about social media and bullying and things like that, and I try to tell the kids, I don't some part of what I'm doing doesn't register with them because I don't come from social media and Google and the cloud and memes and all this. And if I had a problem with the bully you met on the playground or after school at the bus stop, you duked it out, which means he hit you in the stomach and you put him in a headlock and you went to the ground, you rolled around until everybody was out of breath. And that guy 9 times out of 10 became your best friend
Yeah.
to this day. Or that was it. It never happened again. You move on. Now, people do get hurt with words, and people do get put into situations. So we want to tell these kids, it's think about what you're doing.
Yeah.
How you say it, what you say, when you say it, the pictures and everything. Because when you come to me for a job, I'm going to look back at all that stuff. And who am I going to remember? The kid that's sitting attentive, sitting up, listening to me wide-eyed, listening to this stuff, listening so attentive because they're getting something from it, or the kid typing on their phone right now with their head down or laughing with their buddies. Because everybody in that room is going to need somebody. And I always tell them, look to the left, look to the right. And I pick someone out and I go, hi, man, I like those kicks. I'm going to take a picture of that. You mind? And I take a picture. I said, but that young lady didn't hear that. All she saw is me take a picture of it. So now I'm mocking you on social media because she can write anything she wants on that picture.
Oh, wow.
And the kids go, well, I go, here's where we're at. And this is how it starts. And it's social, and now it's bullying, and now it's all these things. And now you've made that person feel less than.
That's awesome.
I said, not only less than, now they're going to go through school that way. But that kid who feels less than is the person sitting at the other side of the desk when you need that job. Now what do you do? And the stuff we hear back from the parents and the administration, everywhere we talk, we go, the kids that's all they want to talk about. What else comes with that? How do we?
That's amazing.
And so that's, but it's life experience, right? It's those things that you take.
Yeah, absolutely.
But
so book Bill DeMott now. You speak
it's
all grades, right?
It's funny, elementary school. I never thought I'd speak to elementary schools because they're 10 years old.
Yeah.
5th grade. You go,
yeah.
What can I possibly tell a 5th grader? Well, they're going into middle school. But when I was going to middle school, the biggest problem I had, my jeans were too short. I knew I was going with floods on. My mom had one job. That's it. If your jeans fit your belly, they fit your pants, you're wearing them.
Yep.
These kids are worried about who's going to be talking to me, what am I going to be looking like, what friends are this, what's cool, what's hip and all. So now I get to talk to them about that. And I say to adults, you don't go to someone who's never drank to talk about alcoholism. You don't go to someone, you don't go to a person who's never sinned to talk about your sins. You find the person who's lived it, been there, hopefully come through it on the other end of it and has something to offer you. So we get to talk to these kids from elementary school, which is 5th grade and up. And then college teams, sports teams, professional athletes, and we just go and share life, and then we introduce Keri's story. We talk about decisions and just how it comes into being. So people hear this part of our conversation, but earlier they hear us going back and forth at each other, and they go, well, they can't be serious and do what they're doing and still help. Yes, we can, because it's life. And if you don't find that, if you don't find those different roads in life to get you through it, because if we had to be serious all the time, we'd be done.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, we'd be at each other.
We'd be soup sandwiches because we have a lot going on as a family and as individuals in that family. So we choose the road that makes us a little bit insane. And then we then turn our friends insane. And it makes it for a fun conversation because if it's always serious, dude, we're never going to get anywhere. So we have a little bit of fun. We do a little dancing. But at the end of the day, I think everybody, and that's the thing. So I don't know how it got started, but if you got to know me, I'm a deep, and I'll say this one time, I'll never say it again. I'm a deep dude. I have a lot going on, very Christian first and foremost. I'm a believer. Yeah. I walk it like I talk it, although I do cuss and I struggle with that. I say that openly.
That's my biggest
pet peeve.
I know.
But I walk it how I talk it. I'm a believer. I bring that everywhere I go. I preach it to everybody I talk to. And I try to live my life that way, barring sometimes what we say on the show. But that's my cross to bear, and I pray about that as well. But I would say I'm also the biggest comedian, the biggest kind of like goofy guy too, because if I'm not, I won't survive this journey, right? The muddy waters. So we do the muddy waters, and we do this, and this is the perfect escape. To introduce people, because if I can get you to laugh, and like you and I were sitting here and be cutting up, and all of a sudden it turns into a serious conversation, and when we leave here at the end of the night, we're both leaving different than when we started.
Yep.
And that's my goal when I meet people and meet kids and adults and look people in the eye and tell them our story and share with them. I want them to leave better. My goal is to be better every day than I was the day before. And if I can make someone else do that, and you save a life in the process and working with these cops, and I have to teach my kids that. She's 26, she's a genius. I'm more proud of her than ever. She's a psychology major in business, and she does all these things, and I'm super proud of her. But I want to teach her more lessons. I want to teach Billy more lessons. I want to teach my wife more. I want to teach my friends these little things. So then when you guys are doing your thing, you're like, uh-oh, there's that Billism. Maybe it comes into play. So it's a crazy mentality, but that's my mentality.
I love it, and I could say it too. Like I never knew the serious side of you until the events,
Yeah.
And I thought, man, Bill's like one of the funniest, most entertaining guys, which obviously because he's a pro wrestler, so like I kind of expect that. And then when you turn it on serious mode, I've never met anybody's inspirational. And I mean this, like I wouldn't. It's not empty flattery, but like I'm watching you, I'm filming you, and I'm losing. Like my brain is out of film mode because I'm looking at the audience and I'm like, oh my God, you've commanded over 100 people, and they're responding emotionally to you, and you've been on stage at this point for like 3 minutes, and like it's just amazing how you do that. And then I have to keep telling myself, no, dude, you're here to work. Like snap out of it because Bill's gonna go run off, and then you're gonna miss him.
It's possible.
The funny thing is you don't even realize like what you do in a room. Like Maury said, like we sit there, we watch you, and you have everybody that comes up to you, and I tell him when he speaks, like he blackout speaks. Like when he gets up there and he starts talking, he has no idea. Like he'll come off stage and go, "How did I do? What did I say?" And I'm like, "What do you mean? What did you say? Like you were just up there speaking." And he goes, "I have no idea."
And it sounds like you rehearsed it for months,
right?
Because it's so fluent and perfect.
We try so hard to. I'm always going back to wrestling. I was always prepared. I always had my coaching. Here's my monthly thing, and here's my focus, and here's what I want to do, curriculum-wise, and all these things, and here's 100 talent that you're balancing, and financials and workouts and private, personal things and all these things. So I always try to be ready. The running joke is I'm ready that same way when we speak and when we go delivery speak, and I don't read one word.
Oh my gosh. I don't know how he does it.
But it's scary. I don't, I come off every time, and Casey's been to the schools with me, because I say I need a handler. I need someone with me because I really have no idea.
And she's your moral compass.
And she's my moral compass.
I don't know. You've been saying that. I just feel like you're more go with the flow, and I'm just uptight.
You keep him in line.
Well, that's the moral compass. You're uptight.
I'm just uptight.
Hashtag moral compass. You're uptight. It's about time. Wait a minute.
Oh, yeah,
it's about time you admit 20, 26 years old. You finally admit you're uptight. I got to come to Maury's mansion.
Well, why do you think I'm uptight? Look what I got to do.
Why do I think you're uptight? You haven't moved.
I live with you.
Sit there. Oh, you're uptight.
By the way, did you know we do a hashtag every week, and it's usually Bill does like a dad joke?
Yes.
Greatest jokes ever.
I mean, they're really
like, few years, he's really gotten into the it's either a dad joke or some type of like food pun on Food Network or something.
Do you have a food pun readily available?
No, hashtag Quernavodka virus.
Hashtag Quernavodka.
How do you spell that?
Oh, Quer, Q-U-R-E, Quer, N-A, vodka, V-O-D-K-A,
Oh, vodka.
virus.
Quernavodka
I thought you were saying-
V-O-D-K-A.
I thought you were saying vodka like V-A-C-A.
No, vodka, V-O-D-K-A, vodka. Quernavodka virus.
Oh my gosh.
Which means Frank's home drinking.
Is that what,
He's got the brown bottle flu.
The brown bottle flu.
Sure.
I've never heard that.
You never heard that?
Why?
He's got the Quernavodka virus. That's what I keep saying.
I didn't know the Quernavodka virus was the brown.
He got booze from the audience, and now he's home with the booze.
The booze.
Hashtag booze.
The drinker, did he get like booze
Boo.
on stage?
Hey, look at my chick. Boo. I'm going home. Booze. Quernavodka virus. Hey,
Casey,
guys, I got the hemp.
I give it up for you. I have a question for you, Casey.
Okay.
Did you ever think about getting into wrestling? Like, was that ever a thought?
No.
Really?
Yeah, no.
Because I know a couple wrestlers' kids, and like that's the only thing they think of, that they thought of,
Yeah.
whether they're doing it or not.
Well, I mean, and I can't speak for them, but I'm sure they were probably, I don't know the right way to say this, is like, involved. I don't think that's the right word because I think, Dad, you did a pretty good job of like not keeping it separate, but you made sure like
He did it. He did the water thing. He did the water thing, Crystal.
I was trying to do it secretly.
Keep going. Keep going. I told you to do it.
It's not even for him, it's for you. He's made me be your bitch.
Oh,
I
no.
was trying to hook you up, but
No, bro, don't get me involved with that. I'm sucking a knife to you.
Do you guys have a couch I can sleep on tonight?
She's a loon. You're in the middle of a serious thing. I got tears in my eyes. It's the greatest story ever. And he's going,
The water.
that's for everybody who can't see.
The water sign.
The water sign. The hang loose with the thumb and the vodka.
that usually means
Corn
yeah,
vodka.
that usually means
The Quernavodka. Anyways, I'm sorry, Casey. Go ahead. This is my last night here at the mansion, but go ahead and tell us the story.
You were
So-
pushed into it.
No, yeah, but I think like you made sure like it wasn't all we watched it on TV, but it wasn't like all wrestling all the time. So I feel like certain kids, they grow up and if that's what they want to do, that's great. But it was never, that wasn't something I had planned for myself, and it wasn't something Dad like wanted me to do. There was a time when I was like 17, you had tried to
Yeah.
get me for like one match.
But she doesn't tell, like, she can go, she can lock up, and we used to chain wrestle around the house and stuff.
I know 2 moves.
But that was the extent for me. Wrestling, I've always wanted, and I probably cost myself a lot of opportunities this way throughout my career. I never wanted wrestling to come home.
Okay, so like leave it at the office.
I
kind of
never
thing.
wanted wrestling to come home, but it goes back to what I said earlier. There was Hugh Morris, and there was Bill DeMott. And when wrestling came home, that usually means I came home with Public Enemy and Big Joe.
Yeah.
We barbecued for 3 days and sat in the pool and drank, and the kids floated on the bellies of the big guys. And
Oh, that's cool.
but there was never a time when wrestling was everything they did. When we came home, it was Barney, it was the
Blue's Clues.
whatever it was. It was the Disney movies. It was the let's go out and do these things and let's build the gym sets and that kind of stuff. So I never pushed them into it. When I liked it, I liked messing around with them. Keri probably would have had a better, only because it would have got her away from actually working.
And she's athletic.
Yeah,
I'm
she
not.
would have done a little bit more jumping around. But I never wanted them, like,
So what do you do one day if Billy, your youngest,
no, it'll
comes to
never
you?
happen.
You don't think he'll ever
No,
come to you and say, "I want to do this"?
He eats, sleeps, and breathes.
He's got too
baseball.
much. He's
That's
got
true.
too much to offer, and not that wrestling. If he came up to me, and so here's the golden rule: graduate college. We don't talk wrestling if you don't graduate college.
That's the rule.
That's the rule.
I mean,
Everybody,
that's a good rule.
everybody all the young guys I've ever worked with who've come to me for advice and everything. Here's my advice: when you're done with college, I'll talk to you and I'll help you and train with you and show you everything I can show you. Crowbar's the perfect example of that, and there's a bunch of guys after him. But same thing with my son. Hey, after college, I'm your Huckleberry.
That's awesome.
By that time, dude, I'll be here at the mansion drooling, and you guys just tell me my headset's on, not to be talking to myself. So I'm not
You'll be
worried
here. I
about
won't, because I keep doing the water signal to my
water
wife.
thing.
See, I wish
Water wench.
I wish I would have had somebody. So my parents are amazing because, like, especially my mom. My dad's very like blue collar. He owned a plumbing company my whole life.
Why is everybody's mom's amazing?
My dad is too, but my mom was like, if you want to put on a Batman suit and go fight crime, like, I'll call you Batman. Like, you know what I mean? Like, my mom was like, whatever you want to be, like, I'll support it. If you want to paint yourself green and become grass, like, I got you.
Oh,
You know?
my mom's not that amazing.
My mom was the most supportive person I've ever met. And when I told her I want to go to wrestling school, she was like, well, okay, you're going to go to college. And I said, no, not at first. Let me see if this will work out. And she was so cool about it. She was like, okay, if this is what you want to do, I support you 100%. Give it everything you got.
Oh, my mom was so not cool.
Really?
Oh my gosh.
Man, I told my mom when I was 16. I remember we were in like our office area, and I was like, I'm going to pro wrestling school. And she's like, great, when? I'm like, I got to be 18, so I'm going to go right after I graduate. And because February is my birthday, so it would have made sense to just wait for the summer.
Oh, no.
And she even paid for it.
Brother.
She's like, go.
I knew I should.
But it didn't work out because I got hurt.
Right.
So after I got, my umpteenth concussion, and it didn't end up working out, it was like, well, what do I do now? Like, now I'm 21, 20, 23 almost. Do I go to school? Is it too late to go to college? What is it? What does a man do? So, and my mom would have preferred me to go to college anyway. Whenever I said I'm going to college, she's like, I'm going to drive you up there. Let's go and sign up and get you your FAFSA done.
If I would have walked into my mother and said, I want to be Batman, and put on a Batman outfit, my mother would have bitch slapped me all over the house and said, get that towel out from over your head and get back to cutting the lawn. Could you see your grandmother saying, I support you being Batman?
No, but
Now
it's
she would.
Well, it's a better alternative than what you were doing when you were actually in college. So I feel like she probably would have been more.
When he was a
supportive.
bouncer?
No. That was before.
When he was flipping cars and vandalizing university property.
We don't tell those stories.
You tell us the real
We don't tell the stories here.
That one hasn't hit the air
We
yet.
don't tell the stories
It's
here.
going to today.
You brought her.
The moral compass has spoken.
I knew this was a bad idea. We almost went to how did we go?
How have you not told that story yet? That's like one of your favorite things to talk about. Is your
Did you really flip cars?
Listen. Okay. How much time we have?
We got time.
Okay. So here's. I'm going to start with this. My niece's birthday was February 1st. So I called her. My nephews are on the FaceTime. Cole is telling the boys how I used to go cow tipping.
did she?
Because of the movie Cars, how they do the cow tipping.
Yeah.
So they love the movie Cars. So when they do the cow tipping,
Oh, yeah.
my nephews, they're 5 and 3.
Mhm.
They think it's the funniest thing ever. So my niece goes, "Your Uncle Bill tips cows." So the other day, they're FaceTime like, "Uncle Bill, you do cow tipping?" I'm looking at my niece over FaceTime going, "Are you serious right now?" Because I went after real cows. Anyway, yeah, I got this thing in Pennsylvania in college, and I just was overboard.
Okay.
I was, feeling my oats. I was young, strong.
Were you like 18, 19?
I was 17,
Okay.
and the challenge was who could do the most damage with their body to a vehicle.
Wow. Were you as big as you are now?
Almost. No, I was actually no, not even close. No, not even close. So
but like build-wise.
no, not even
Big
close.
build.
No. So there was guys from West Virginia, Maryland. It was the last day of summer sessions. The next day was finals, summer finals. So I went all through summer camp, all these things, classes, all those things. So they came and got me, and they took me out. I was 17 years old, and who could do the most damage physically with their body? I'm not going to be outdone.
Challenge accepted.
I'm going to see what I can do here. Head through windshields, through doors, and knees and feet.
Wow.
Start tipping cars over down Main Street. There's no sign. All
You
it
need
says
a
is
sign to say don't
it
destroy
said,
cars?
no parking from 7 a.m. to 7 p.m.
Oh my god.
It doesn't say don't put car upside down here.
That's a
Do you
good
still follow that rule?
Do not put a car in a cornfield or you will be going to jail. So when I was facing federal charges,
Are you serious?
yes,
Wow.
my argument was I did not see the sign. And I'm 17 and I would like to go home now, sir, please.
What did they say to that?
You're lucky you're 17. Like the end result was, I took the rap for a lot of what had happened for a whole different kind of podcast. But there were federal charges, and it was really a big deal.
Wow.
Very, very embarrassing life lesson moment. I don't recommend. I tell that story out of humor because thank goodness I was 17 still for the next 2 months or something like that, 3 months. So I took the majority of the rap, and then I was on double secret probation from school. But those other guys are going to do some serious time. But yeah, I have a tendency to, if you put something in front of me like that and challenge me, I'm going to do it. So the guy, well, what can you do, kid? Well, I can flip cars.
But my car's like a year old, just not that one. I have a couple neighbors I don't like.
Well, so fast forward to we were working for the town back in Paramus, New Jersey. Out of college, everything. I was working for a tow company, and the cop. We were in a car accident, and the Jeep was flipped over, and they called for the tow truck, and the tow truck was me, And I knew all the cops because, I grew up in that town, so
Yeah.
the DeMott boys are famous there.
Mhm.
And he says, what are you doing? I said, I'm going to hook it up. He goes, $5 says you can't flip it. So the cops started taking bets.
Wow.
So I stood in the middle of the road, flipped the Jeep over, but they took a picture and put it in the paper. So then I worked for another tow company after that.
Yeah, imagine. Your job was to save the car,
Yeah,
and you just
yeah.
showed it.
Instead of hooking it up and doing it the right way, I tipped it over.
Wow, that's amazing.
Casey, thank you so much, Casey,
I
for
didn't
that
even
story.
take it there, but you usually like to talk about that.
I don't like to talk about it.
Not when we're on a recorded line.
Yeah, in the house.
That's amazing.
We went from water winch to me flipping cars.
Oh, man. This has been an awesome episode. A couple other things. Do you guys have any shout-outs you want to give? Maybe Chris again, right? Is that his name, Chris?
Who's Chris?
The pool guy.
Big Chris Martin.
Yeah.
Big Chris and his foundation again. Gunner's, Gunner Martin Foundation. Talking to Chris, as you know, because we all belong to the same church.
Yeah.
Chris and I serve on the security team there, and we just want to hopefully get some good things going for them. Coming into the summertime is when they do most of their work with the free swim lessons for people, and they have scholarships for that. And we want to get involved. That's the thing. Is like a lot of nonprofits and a lot of people are in I'm going to say it the wrong way, but they're in business for themselves.
Yeah.
We want to make sure we're touching foundations every year. We worked with the Skinner Foundation last year. So for every home run hit at a UCF baseball game last year at a home game, we donated $25.
That's
so
awesome.
by the end of the season, it was like $500 something or whatever it was.
Wow.
We do things for Brevard County. We do things with the SWAT team, and we load the backpacks for kids and in the homes and for schools. And so we try to grab onto these things and make sure that we're out there for people. And I think I said that it's not about us. It's not a DeMott thing. This is a community thing.
Yeah.
So we got a lot of good things, in the works, and just a shout out to everybody that who listens to this. I see the feedback on social media, and it's pretty cool.
Yeah.
And I think the people that are listening appreciate the fact that we just kind of get to jerk around a little bit, and we'll touch on some serious stuff from now and again. But this has been a lot of fun. And
are you glad you came aboard the podcast?
I'm so glad it didn't take me that long to get Jimmy out of here.
Yeah, I know. You came in episode 3, got him out in episode 12.
Because I told you on episode 3, I'm like, give me a couple weeks, and you're like, no way. But look, he's gone.
He's gone.
So does he actually have the flu, or did you do something to him?
No. As far as he's
was he
concerned,
in a car that you flipped in
He's
the
sick.
Hudson River?
No, he's sick.
Okay.
And if he's smart, he'll stay sick.
See,
That's all I'm
don't
saying.
get that too far. No, everybody's gonna be suspicious.
Casey, any shout-outs?
No, I don't have. Hi, Billy.
Casey is. We took Casey. We take Casey to we sucker Casey in once a good couple months to go to a baseball game or something. So now Butchie's playing flag football. I said, come with me. The game's only 45 minutes. So she comes with me. But I forget to tell her we got to be there 2 hours before. The game's 45 minutes. Then it's another 45 minutes home. So she's out in the fresh air for 4 or 5 hours. And she's done for 4 weeks.
Luckily, the weather was nice. I will say that was like the deciding factor. Was it was actually like it wasn't
It was nice.
1,000 degrees outside. So I was like, okay, I'll go.
Casey is nothing with sports.
I don't.
How about those Kansas City Chiefs?
Yeah, Super Bowl champions, Patrick Mahomes. I was. It's not that I don't like San Francisco. Like I didn't really have a dog in the fight because the Steelers aren't in it. But the whole time I was rooting for the Chiefs because of Patrick Mahomes and mainly Andy Reid. Came so close in 05 with McNabb. Yeah. And he needed it. He deserved it more than anybody in that whole
wrestling rules applied there.
Exactly.
It was wrestling. I say that at home all the time. Wrestling rules apply here. The Chiefs are winning. Yeah. Doesn't matter about Garoppolo coming out from under Brady's shadow and all these other guys. Andy Reid was the guy.
So, that was awesome Super Bowl. Do you guys watch? Do you guys like it?
It's football.
I watched the halftime show.
You gonna watch the XFL? I'm surprised we didn't spend the whole show talking about the halftime show.
The Shakir tongue wiggle?
They ripped that show apart.
Did they? I didn't see.
People were bashing that halftime show.
The outrage culture was so
I
upset
had
about
kids
it.
watching this. I had kids watching this halftime show. So the guy puts a meme.
J-Lo had her daughter. can't do the show.
So they split the screen. They had the Adam Levine, Maroon 5, with his pants down to his niz-ups, with all the tattoos, and they had J-Lo with her butt hanging out, and go, well, how come all the moms were okay with this a couple years ago, and now they're all outraged over this?
Oh, I can see that.
And people were screaming.
You know what? If I was J-Lo when I was 50 years old, I'd be showing my butt too.
Hey, I'm 54, and I'm wearing that outfit tomorrow.
Is that what you got whenever you got the tux? You saw that?
I said, I'm giving Jimmy the tux. I'm wearing this.
Yeah, I thought it was the most not just because I'm a heterosexual guy, but I thought it was one of the most entertaining overall. I thought it was rushed with the songs because they all have similar hits. But I thought show-wise, I thought Adam Levine was boring. I thought Justin Timberlake was watching paint dry. I thought they all were really, except for Lady Gaga beat them all. But I thought it was a really good show. I love seeing all the dancing. I think if you're tearing it apart, I think it is part of.
I thought it was quick. I agree. I thought it was quick because a lot of the songs were you couldn't get into the one. It was boom, boom, boom because they have so many. I thought it was it's a halftime show. It's a football game. And if you're everybody watches everything to tear it down.
It's not like the Janet Jackson incident.
Read a book. Yeah, go read a book.
That's what I did.
That's what I would do.
That's Casey. Casey don't tear nothing up because she reads a book. She don't pay attention to it.
There you go. Yeah, don't pay attention if it's going to bother you.
God, I watched all that stuff. I'm like, please.
I do have a couple shout-outs.
Yeah.
So, obviously, shout-out to Chris. I told him if he needed any video work done, I'm going to take care of him. What is their foundation again? The Gunnar
Martin Foundation.
Okay. So, shout-out to him, of course. I want to shout-out to a couple listeners who are, beyond the casual, super loyal.
Love it.
And they shout us out like crazy. So, a guy named Taro, I don't remember his last name, but he retweets, he puts us out there. He private messages me. He's become a close buddy. I met him through another wrestling Patreon. Super cool guy. And then another huge supporter who shouts us out, puts our logo on his own show. So, that's how cool this guy is.
That's cool.
I don't want to say his real name because he has kind of a gimmick going on. But he goes by Keyboard Warrior IRL, which stands for in real life. And with the name, at first I'm like, Keyboard Warrior, oh no. But he's actually a very professional type person. He has a family and kids and stuff. So he's not like a troll.
That's one of his aliases.
Yeah. He's actually a super nice
because you
guy.
need an alias this day and age, otherwise you're screwed.
Yeah, that's why I don't want to say his real name because he if you ever get a chance, it's a hilarious the thing that I saw about him. And then we start talking, and he promotes us like crazy, man. He puts our picture up, like I said, our logo.
Really?
Super awesome guy. He shouts us out all the time. But he actually has this, and he's hyper intelligent, but he's also really entertaining. And his first little clip of he has a YouTube show, or maybe it's just for Twitter, but he discovered the coolest thing, or the craziest thing. Remember how Robert Kraft got busted in Tampa with the the rub and tug thing? Yeah. So he was saying he remembered listening to Ryback's podcast in 2011, years before this happened. And I'm butchering it, so it's probably wrong, but basically he believes that the cops, because Ryback said that happened all the time in Tampa. So he believes that a cop was listening to the podcast, years later put it together, and then busted Robert Kraft. It's how smart this guy is, and he's an investigator. But then he also does he debates wrestlers, but in a respectful way, a jerky way.
Yeah.
It's actually, even though it's much of a debate, he asks the hard questions from a fan perspective, but very respectful. So check out his show, Keyboard Warrior IRL. Shout out to my wife because I'm getting the Kevorkian flu, and she's gonna have to put up with it. So there's that.
You're getting thrown out.
Also, I wish she was here because there's look up the Orlando Animal Shelter. What do you know what it's called? I'll have to figure out. I'll put up the link. But my wife is cat crazy right now. If you guys could hear that in the background, the cat. There was a cat that was pretty much near death that came up to our patio.
What happened to that cat?
Do you hear it right now?
That's the one that's
in
going
our
alive.
garage. Yeah.
So it's alive and well.
Oh my gosh, it's better than ever, and it's all black. So if anybody's looking for a cat, Bill, maybe I can give you to get an autograph if somebody will buy this cat.
So what you're saying is your wife is a blessing and a curse.
Yeah, she's a blessing
because she saved the cat.
But
Well, have
she's
you
cursed
seen,
this
like,
house.
the pictures I've been seeing.
Now the damn cat won't shut up.
Taking great care of the cat.
Bill, could I do something? If somebody is willing to take this cat off us, will you give them an autograph?
Yeah.
Okay, please take the cat off our hands. It's all black. It's only got 4 fangs left, and it is because it had to get dental surgery to save its life. And it is the nicest
4
cat
fangs
ever.
left?
Like, what is those teeth?
Canines.
The canines are what
You
they're called.
auctioning off kids.
Why do cats have canines?
I was
You
going to
have
ask
canines.
that.
We have canines.
I didn't know that.
Incisors.
You have teeth.
Canines.
Yes, that's.
Canines. Dogs.
We have molars. I've heard that before. And wisdom teeth.
I've had molars.
But you don't anymore?
Cranberry
Is
juice.
that where that was going?
Not cranberry juice. Flush the stuff right out.
I think he's going for kidney stones.
Yeah. Yeah, the things that hurt when you pee.
Those are kidney stones.
Yeah. Cranberry juice. No more mold.
Pet Alliance of Greater Orlando. Check them out. They save animals' lives. They're amazing. They give you canines.
Any molars? Pet Alliance of Orlando.
That's what we have to do with you because you just took it in a whole different direction.
Well, we're talking about kidney stones and cranberry juice, cats that are dying.
Cats
I've
are
never
not
had
dying.
kidney stones. I
They
don't
are
think.
saved.
Did you drink all
They
the
are
cranberry?
saved.
Actually, I don't think that's what helps kidney stones.
No, I don't. No.
Well, guys, I think this about wraps
Can I
up
do
the
this?
show.
Should I do the sign up? Okay.
Wait, I got one more thing to say. Next week,
Oh.
I'm going to talk about what I think is the greatest movie in the past decade ever. It might be controversial, but I am coming
I
prepared.
don't need the title right now. Otherwise, if I'm not prepared, I'm not coming.
I'll tell you off
Is
air.
it the Joker?
No, it's not.
Is it Midsummer Night's Dream? The other thing you watched?
Midsummer. Have you ever seen Midsummer, Casey?
I haven't. Isn't it like kind of scary?
Yeah, it's like
I'm
a
not
horror
into, like-
movie.
I'm
It's a
not into
horror
horror,
movie
like
that takes
horror.
place in the daytime.
Oh, see, no, I'm not into horror.
Bill's
movies.
not
I
really
don't-
excited about that concept.
I mean, I've heard like a lot of good things, but I'm not. Into
See,
horror
it
movies.
is one of my all-time favorites.
Really?
I don't think it's the best, like the movie I'm going to talk about
Thank
next
you for
week.
listening to this edition of Magic Through Wrestling. We hope you've enjoyed the product. And if you haven't,
Casey, cut him off
Yeah,
before.
no.
what? So what you're saying is, what's the name of the movie?
I'm not going to tell. It's a surprise for the listeners for next
Is
week.
it like a movie that I would know?
Yeah, it's a movie we've
I
once talked about,
Oh no!
but it's not Midsummer like you guys grill me
Is
on.
it Blazing Saddles?
No,
You can't talk about
I'm not the
Blazing
biggest fan
Saddles.
about that movie. I mean, it's just my dad loves it. It's one of his all-time favorites, and I've watched it with him a couple times.
I want to know.
It's just
I want to
never
know. I'm
stuck
not.
with me.
I'm not signing off until I find out why this is not one of your favorite movies of all time.
It should be because Gene Wilder is top 3 favorite actor of all time. I love him.
Answer the question.
I really don't. I'm not. I don't know because I love westerns. I love Gene Wilder. I can't pinpoint why the
It
why
has
the
farts.
it might be like the jokes don't
It has
hit me
Howard-
because it's an older movie. I mean, what year was that movie made?
It is the funniest movie ever made in the history of the free world.
It is
All right,
good.
I haven't watched it in 11 years. I know that date that I watched it, so I will watch it again before next week. I own it, and I'll tell you if I changed my mind from 11 years ago. Casey, have you ever seen it?
I've seen bits and pieces of it. So
You
it's
might
the
not.
thing-
He might disown you if he's very upset.
Well, anytime it's on TV, he watches it. But the thing in our house with movies, TV shows, anything, is we can never watch a full show or movie from start to finish because he hates commercials.
I hate commercials.
So we're watching a movie, we'll get into it, we start watching it. There's a commercial. He changes the channel to something else.
You've had
Then we're in the middle of
45
another-
minutes.
You're a clicker.
Show.
I'm a clicker too.
I'm not a clicker. I just don't like commercials.
I don't look at me.
So we're in the middle of like 3 or 4 different, 2 shows and a movie, and in the middle of flipping through everything, you go back to the movie that you were originally watching, and all this stuff has happened. We have no idea what's
How
going on.
many TVs are in the mansion? How many TVs are in the mansion?
But you yell at us when we all go watch different things. When we watch
Because it should
different
be
things.
family time.
Then stick
You
to
know what,
one
Casey?
channel.
You
Stick to
owe
one channel.
you owe him a
Share their
thank you for
remote.
taking on the burden of going through those commercials.
No.
It is not an easy task to find your way
I
back
try.
from movie
Believe
to
me,
show.
I try to go sit in my room with my TV
It's the
and do
biggest
my work.
fight in my house ever. I can't stand. We were watching something commercial. Click. Lacey goes, "What the hell?"
Because Lacey never says anything, but she's like had enough when
Because
she
you
gets on
feel
about
the
the
heat. You
commercials.
feel the heat, and that's when everybody starts going to their phones. And I go, hey, everybody on their phones? If you leave without my...
Yes, that's what it. Yeah. So like he yells at me for
Thank
picking
you
up
for
my phone.
joining us this week. Shut up. Thank you for joining us this week on... What is the name of this show?
Rude.
Magic the Wrestling.
Thank you for joining us.
He doesn't even know his own show
Jimmy's
name.
lying. He's not sick. Audio Vaughn's not here. I only had one glass of water. My daughter's never coming back. And now I'm going to talk about a stupid movie next week.
And we didn't
Follow
talk about
that.
wrestling and all this.
And wrestling got nothing to do with nothing. Up the Grove. Just shout out to everyone up the Grove.
All right, guys. Well, join us next week. This should be dropping Friday. Unless I drop dead Friday because I've got the Convorted.
Jeez, that went a whole different way.
I'm giving a warning to the fans out there everywhere.
Yeah, but that means I can't come back then. Because you think about it, if he drops dead, then they're going, oh, the show's over. What am I doing?
I'm going to teach you how to do the audio.
I don't need to be taught. I got the hanging mic.
The hanging mic's in the other room. You use the other one that sits on your
This
bed.
is ridiculous. Who invited you?
You did.
I did.
All I wanted to know today when I talked to you was what we needed from the grocery store, and you replied, "You're going to be on the podcast tonight."
I was wondering how that conversation
It was
went.
totally random. I said, "Okay, I'm going to the store after work. Let me know. Text me what we need. That way, I have the list and I can go." And he goes, "You're going to be on the podcast." I'm like, I'm sorry, what podcast?
What aisle's that in?
My podcast. I'm like, no. I'm like, I don't. So he goes, no. He goes, no. It'll be good. You're going to do
She
it.
said, no. I said, yeah, you got it.
He's like, no, you don't have a choice. You're going to go. It'll be fine. I'm like,
Okay, you do the sign off. Thank you, everybody, for listening. Go ahead, go.
no.
3, 2, 1, go.
Thank you, everybody, for listening.
I'm taking my head. That's ridiculous.
I don't do this. You do it.
I almost missed Jimmy.
He might be here next week.
You know what? I got a side bet. I got 50 cents to the other show up.
See, I kind of want to get on that, but I want to be on your side. We need
I
to.
say he's not on it. I say he's not here.
Yeah, he might not be here.
Water wench, what do you think? Hashtag water wench.
I have faith
Hashtag-
in Jimmy.
Hashtag you're on your own.
Hashtag, yeah, you're on your own. I love my wife, damn it.
Yeah, I can see that.
And on that note, everybody, I'm going to sleep on Bill DeMott's couch tonight because I asked my wife to get us some water.
Thank you for listening to episode 22 of Magic Through Wrestling.
It's 13.
And if you could have 8 more episodes, that would make 22. I'm your host, Jimmy. I'm not here, Brooke.